Welcome to Attingham Park. This is episode 7. In this episode, we analyze the field that we have bought. Can you guess what type of soil it is? And we buy some sheep. But first of all, let's do our daily random number draw. Get that down to 14, create number, and it's number 11. We just need to go over and have a look and see what number 11 says. Number 11 says repair sheds and place 500 deduction placeable in the modification area for each barn or shed that you have for one day. So at this point in time we don't own any barns or sheds, so we don't have to pay anything at this point in time. Later on in the game I'm pretty sure that will have quite a significant effect. In any case, let's get into the trusty old, well, it's not so old, let's get into the trusty telehandler and go and buy a front end loader, or front end bucket should I say, telehandler bucket, so that we can load up the silage which is ready and get it into the BGA so we can start getting some income. It'll be fairly slow trickle of income because the BGA doesn't work all that fast, but we'll fill it up and we'll keep topping it up. Of course, in terms of the rules that we're playing by, anything that is fermented in the silage camp in the BGA must be sold to the BGA, which is not a real problem. It will give us a continuous stream of income for quite a few months, even though there's only a relatively small amount of silage there. Right, let's just get this back to the farm and we'll start filling up the BGA with the silage. Let's get around, we'll get that all opened up. Yeah, here we go. Just jump out quickly, lift those sheets up, exposing, it's not exploding, exposing the lovely silage. Let's get this going. So there's a bit of a tricky thing when you first start trying to work out exactly the heights, trying to get it into the muscle memory, the exact height of where it's still a bit too low. See how we pull into the left, just to get the bucket at the right angle. In the event it's full, let's go and put it into the depositing area. It's fairly small, it takes about 25k to fill up, so we'll get that filled and then we'll just keep on topping it up. Won't necessarily show you every time we top it up, but we'll keep it up we'll keep it going for as long as we have silage there. I think the next cut of grass we'll have to keep some make some into grass bales to feed the sheep that we are going to buy during the latter course of today. I just wanted to get all this done so that we can get the income going. So we're still lucky that we still had one day left of the hedgerow grant. So we do have about £8,000 in the account which we can still use, and of course by the time that finishes, hopefully we'll be getting a trickle in from the BGA for the silage and for whatever the silage does produce, electricity, etc. Right, there we go. Let's put this onto a bit of a time lapse. It's quite a lengthy operation, seeing as we can only do about 2,000 litres at a time with the bucket. Can't afford to buy any more expensive means, although I can't really see a more efficient mean really of moving this, except maybe with a bigger bucket. Because if we use conveyor belts, that's just going to create a blockage for vehicles moving through, considering that we pretty much need to drive through here to get to our little field that we have bought. We don't really want to do that. I'm sure there will come times when there are blockages, but we'll just have to deal with those as they come through. But at this stage, this is what we can afford, this is what we can use, and this is what we will do. Shouldn't be too much longer now. This telehandler does work rather well. It's got a nice bit of power, and we've been getting a lot of use out of it for £50 a day. I cannot complain. Well, okay, so that's actually full, so we'll just leave that bucket to empty. We'll go down to the store and go and lease a tractor on a long-term lease. So we'll lease it and we'll keep it with us and pay the daily lease fees until we can afford to buy a tractor. I think that'll be easier. We're going to be needing the tractor pretty much on a daily basis, so we don't have to buy the initial or pay the initial fees every time. Try and get something that has got a reasonable amount of horsepower and can keep us going for a while. And at the same time, we'll get the soil analyzer, get back to the field and analyze that field and see what type of soil we have, what type of soil we're dealing with. Let's get this hitched up, and then head off back down to the field. Always quite an exciting time when you're doing your soil sampling. Nifty bit of equipment. Thank goodness for Wi-Fi. It sends all the, pretty much does the analysis and then sends it on for interpretation to, oh, I told you, see what happens. We do have blockages. Let's just get that moved. It is empty, so I took the rest of that bucket while we were up at the store. To get down to the field now and start the analyzing. The lovely thing about doing this analyzing is that you can do it on a time lapse, and it still looks quite good. Just have that open, get the antenna up, and off we go. And if you look down in the left hand corner, you'll see the little mini map, and that kind of shows you where you are on your field, and it's pretty useful for making sure that you cover every square inch that needs to be analyzed. And it's got a fairly big radius, so it doesn't take too long. Make sure that that's all covered. Yeah, that's done. Edge there, and then we'll just pop off and we'll do an analysis in this woods as well, because it may affect our environmental score. So I'd rather just get it done and see what it looks like. Right, let's get that off. Send it off, and now we just wait for the results. We'll know when the money goes from the account when the results are in. Yeah, so the results are in. There we go. Sandy loam. Well, one off what I would ideally like, but it's still good enough. Right, let's get some sheep bought. We don't have a huge amount of money, so I think we'll start with 3, and then we'll top it up at the end of the day if we have any funds left. So of course we're going to have to go and buy feed now for the sheep and what have you. So it looks like we can get, oh, how many we're going to get. Yeah, I can afford 3. So yeah, there we go. 3 bought. They're in the field. Let's close them up. Right, and let's go and buy some hay for them. And we also need to get a tank because we need to bring water up to them. For this mod, you do need to supply them with water. Once again, I'll put this up. I'll get this on the forks. I'll get the hay bale brought down. Don't particularly want to buy another trailer, so can't really use the tractor. And then we'll hold our breath. We'll buy a water tanker when we're up there. The odds are we won't be able to bring it back with the JCB, but we'll give it a try. Right, so let's get back up to the stall. Oh, wait a minute. We've got to get the spike on. We're not going to be able to bring back anything without the spike. Oh man. Thank goodness I caught that then, not when I was at the stall. It's me talking too much and not concentrating on the work, I suppose. Right, let's get the spike on and we'll try again. We'll head up off to the store, go and pick up that bale. Wait a minute. You haven't got a hell of a lot of money, have you? Okay, so while we're heading up the store, we'll go and sell a couple more bales as well. And then we'll probably be able to buy the water tanker outright, hopefully. Yeah, also makes sense. We are heading up in that direction, so and we're going to need some funds. We could, of course, just wait for some of the BGA money to roll in, but I'm not sure there'll be enough. It'll come in quick enough for us to be able to buy a water tanker as quickly as I want to. So we have these bales available, why not use them? Right, so we'll see you off at the animal dealer. Drop these off. Should get about $5 for these. Just about at the animal dealer now. So I'm hoping for 5,000. That means we've got to spend a little bit on a small water tanker. I know there is a small water tanker. It doesn't hold an awful lot of amount of water. It's only about 2,000 litres, but whilst we've still got a small flock of sheep, that should be sufficient. Once the flock grows, we can reconsider getting a bigger water tanker. Right, so we'll get off to the stall now, go and pick up that bale, buy a water tanker, and as I say, hold thumbs that this can tow it back. If it can't, of course we'll just have to pop back with the tractor. No, trailer can't trailer. Getting all tongue tied again. There we go. So we've got that small trailer out to just over 2,000 litres. Looks nice. Let's load up the bale onto the forks first and then see if it hitches up. I don't think so. I had a look at the hitch. I can't see it hitching up, but we'll just try. Let me find out now. Don't hold your breath. This is my advice. Yeah, as expected, it's not going to hitch up. Alright, so we'll have to come back with a tractor for it. Let's get this bale back to the sheep. The biggest drawback of that position of that field is it's so far from the store. Spent half the day travelling up and down to the store, so we'll have to start thinking a bit about getting another means of collecting things from the store in a slightly more efficient fashion. But at this point in time, it's all about the money and less about the efficiencies. So get that deposited there. That'll keep them busy for a little while. Let's get in the tractor and go and pick up that water tanker. Right, Right, we'll get off there and we'll see you back at the store in the next few minutes. Load up that tanker. Then I'm not sure, but I seem to think that we won't be able to get water directly from the river. I'm not sure. We'll give it a go first, otherwise we'll have to put in a water source. That's going to be another bit of money. How much have we got now at the moment? Just over 3,000. So I don't know. I don't particularly want to use one of the mods for one of the allowed placeable mods for the to place a water source. So let's just get it up there first. Alright, off we go. What's going on here? We just have to switch back to the... Not sure why this is taking so long. I remember I had switched to the back drive. With this tractor you can drive in, change the driving position. Had a little bit of trouble getting that back. In any case, looks like we can't get water from the river, so we'll go and get a water tank. That's going to set us back a little bit. Not quite sure how much. Can't remember how much these water tanks. There we go, 3,000. Has to be done. We need water for the sheep. So not going to leave us with an awful lot of money. So we're not going to be able to buy a hell of a lot more sheep. So I was going to try and fill up the sheep in as much as I could by the end of the day. But we have to water what we have first of all. Make sure that those survive before we try and put more in. Of course they will breed. So let's just have a look and see. Let's go and load up, fill up this water tanker, get it up to the sheep. Yeah, so it's just about another day done. Quite happy with what we actually got done today. At least to know what the soil type is. We'll try and convert at least half the field to a arable field. Let's probably plant some wheat or something along those lines. We are in February, so the next month we have the big draw, as they say. We'll have to find out what our new economic conditions are going to be, and any monthly or any yearly modifications plus the monthly modifications. So that's going to be a big day for the random number generator tomorrow, and that should be quite exciting. In any case, let's just get this done, and then we'll must probably only be able to buy, I can't remember what the prices were. I think it was about 400. I want fully grown to start with, so they can start breeding as soon as they're healthy enough. Yeah, that's the 3 that we already bought. Yeah, we'll just be able to get another one, so we'll get that one. So that leaves us at the end of the day with 4 sheep, field analyzed, and the BGA going. Fair day's work. And we'll call it a day there. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the month of March, when all things change. Thank you for watching. Cheerio.